Amazon dynamic pricing is very important because it can not only help you to increase your profits, but it also helps to get rid of hijackers and keeps buy box in order to avoid suppressions. And in this video, Himak, our guest from Eva, explains how to earn more profits by updating product prices according to the demand, trend, seasonality, and competitor prices. To find more about Eva and their solution and special offer, check the video description below. And this video is hosted by LISETT LEES. She works with different Amazon brands. And if you like videos we create, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.
Hello, I'm really happy to have you here on Orange Klik channel today to talk about dynamic pricing for private label sellers. But before we go into today's topic, could you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the Amazon space?
Thank you very much, Lisette, for having me. After roughly 20 years of software development in enterprise software companies like Oracle and IBM, I created Eva with my co-founder a few years ago. And with Eva, we are focusing on profit maximization for private label sellers. And one of the key areas we discovered is the dynamic pricing for private labels and brands, where changing the prices can increase the profits up to 20–30% a month.
Okay, very good. And I know in order to go into depth with this topic, you would like to share a screen and go through some main things sellers would have to know about this topic in order to better use it as well. So let's go ahead and please share your screen.
Sure, I'm gonna show you the Eva application and jump into that pricing management and how the dynamic pricing really helps the customers. Obviously, first of all, maybe we can check what's currently available or what most of the brands are doing today. They basically calculate their cost and calculate the Amazon fees, and based on that they come up with a price. Typically, they round it to something like 99, like 19.99 or 14.49, and then that becomes the price of the product. After that point, most of the focus goes into advertising and the product quality and all that things, which is right. But one of the things that a couple of years back, what we discovered is, Amazon has more than 300 brands today, and there's also this very large aggregators. And when we look at them, what they do is like Amazon is changing the prices almost every day for even their own brands. So when we look at like what are the reasons that the price should change for the private labels, and there are a couple of very important reasons. And number one thing is, especially now we are in Q4, the inventory levels are very important. By the way, and I'll talk about that pricing, but already Eva is able to show like the last 24 months of data, including the cost of goods sold, refunds, expenses. Eva has a view of like the total expenses that Amazon is charging at the store level, as well as all the states and what are the kind of the quantities and amounts per state. But at the same time, Eva is very obsessed with the expenses and how much that the Amazon is charging for the inventory storage fees and how the inventory is working on the FBA side, specifically what is available, what is in transit, what is inbound. Now, we are in Q4. Inventory plays a key role because it will be very hard to replenish the inventory. So the question is, if the inventory levels are going below a certain threshold for a seller, what should the seller do? We recommend that the seller should gradually increase the price. What if like the seller has 10 SKUs or 100 SKUs? It will be very hard, just to go daily check the orders, the inventory days, and they increase the price. So what EVA is doing is aligned with the Amazon fair pricing policy, is increasing the price gradually, which means that as there is no way to replenish the stock until the end of the Q4, at the same time, at least the seller will maximize the profits as the inventory is going down. So not only this, but increasing the price will hopefully also delay the out of stock problem. And that will also make sure that, the brand owner is still keeping the same ranks in terms of like the keyword, search ranks and the BSR. And that also helps in that way. So, but, doing this manually may end up like suppressing the buybacks, which is another problem that the private label sellers from time to time face with. Or even like high pricing errors and deactivation of the SKU. So the dynamic pricing, definitely first thing that it helps is the whole inventory management and avoiding out of stock. The second thing, or the second more important thing, is the demand and trend, because like as the demand is increasing, why not to increase the price? Where demand is a function of the consumer demand as well as the advertising push, let's say, let's put this two main, areas where either people search and find the products, or the brand owner is promoting the product. But whatever the reason is, if as a result the demand is increasing, the prices should increase. Where here you see that the EVA is able to show the daily sales for every day. It's real-time information, or even on Amazon, it is not easy to get the real-time information. And if I just click to any single item, then I see that the dynamic pricing works either based on the inventory. For example, here, the supply is only 5 days, so the prices are increasing gradually every day. Or I can, probably get an example like this, where the inventory level is, pretty good. There is 41 days of supply, but based on the sales trends and the demand for last week, last month, last quarter, last year, and also the last year gives, and the category gives a good perspective on the demand and the trend. So the prices are increasing or decreasing every day. And this is what EVA is primarily doing: inventory based and the demand based pricing, that changing the prices dynamically.
Okay, very good. Do you want to share something else regarding dynamic pricing, or can I ask some of the questions I have for you?
Sure, please go ahead. And there are a couple of things that I would like to mention, but with your questions, I'm sure, we can also mention these things as well.
Okay, so I wanted to ask what Amazon thinks about sellers updating their product price. Like, how often sellers actually can update their product price, or does Amazon have any rule about that?
Oh, great question. Amazon allows and enables the sellers to update the pricing, because obviously these price changes are extremely important for the resellers, and the resellers can update the prices even down to like every 2 minutes. So, at least EVA has that technology to update the prices every 2 minutes. But for the brands and the private label sellers, the key is like to update the prices every day. Especially in US, it makes more sense to have it maybe every day. But for countries where the time zone is the same, like let's say UK time zone is the same, then there is also, we see the demand differences between morning, lunch, and evening time. So that might also be another reason to update the prices. But once a day is good enough. The second thing is, if the prices are changed more than expected, for example, if the same seller is selling on Walmart, eBay, as well as on Amazon, the Amazon price is $10 and the Walmart and eBay pricing is, let's say, $11, and which is fine. But if the owner updates the price to $15 on Amazon, then Amazon will think, hold on, why this guy is selling the items 50% more expensive on Amazon? As a result, two things may happen. Number one, the buy box can be suppressed. I know that a lot of private label sellers think, I don't care about the buy box. Not really, because based on a lot of tests done, if there is no buy box on that ASIN, the sales will drop at least by 30%, because people are kind of lazy or they are not comfortable when they don't see the buy box. So the buy box suppression is a key issue. And also, like, Amazon may just deactivate the listing as well in some situations if the price changes too high. That might be also to avoid any type of creating huge price changes just because the demand is too high or the inventory is too low. Now, the other thing that EVA is doing is ensuring that there is no buy box suppression, because as soon as buy box suppression happens, EVA will immediately start testing lower price levels and avoid the buy box suppression as well.
Yeah, actually, that was one of my next questions, like how sellers can check if they have a buy box or how often they should check it. So,
with EVA, that would be super easy. If maybe I can just share the screen again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just show you that. So first of all, there is a pricing management dashboard, and this is the dashboard where the sellers can basically just look at the ones where they enabled the buy box. And here, there is a tag called buy box win. It just makes sure that the buy box status is either buy box win or the buy box win with the minimum price. And that is already kind of giving the sellers that the buy box is available. Now, if the buy box is not available, there is a filter, and the filter says no buy box, meaning that the buy box is suppressed, and then the seller can easily see if the buy box is suppressed or not. So that's an advantage of also, using the pricing management of EVA.
Okay, so does your tool also notify sellers when there is for private label sellers, there are often issues with hijackers. So another seller is coming on somebody's listing, trying to get the offer. So do you have any system to also let sellers know if the product listing has been hijacked?
Oh, that's a great question. I fully agree. The hijackers are one of the big issues. Actually, we have more than 1,000 brands on EVA, and each time when I meet with an brand owner and I ask this question, do you have any hijackers? And they just say me, no, we don't have. We don't need to care about the hijackers. Now, as soon as we they start using EVA, in the first 24 hours, even they realize there are a lot of hijackers on their listing. So what I can tell you is maybe only 50% of the sellers even know that their products are sold on their listing. And maybe it is even Amazon, maybe third-party sellers. They just put the same product on the same listing, and it's multiple sellers are doing that. Now, there are different alternatives to handle the hijackers. One of the alternatives is the brand owner may say, well, I am the manufacturer. I don't care who else is selling. Maybe they just bought it from a different distribution channel, or they did an online arbitrage, and I don't care, about them selling on the listing, which is an option. But at the same time, we kind of think that the best option is to avoid the others to sell And, because, if it is avoided, we have seen that the hijackers are not coming back. It's like if you have an alarm, badge next to your house, and then, the burglars will not visit you because there are so many other houses without the alarm anyway. So, because it doesn't make sense that the hijackers are selling your product, but with a maybe, 2% better price, but then you are not selling that product. And that just confuses your kind of forecast, about Amazon. So and also it's a product that you don't know yet the condition. What if the condition is not the best? Somebody else is selling on Amazon, you get a bad review, or maybe like, anything may happen with that because the condition is not even there. So it is better to avoid the hijackers rather than let them just sell it on your listing. Now, what Eva does is Eva immediately turns into an aggressive mode and ensures that the hijacker cannot sell their product, because Eva can change the prices accordingly and dominate the buy box. Now, we have seen that in 48 to 72 hours, the hijacker will liquidate their product because they cannot sell it from a nice price point, and they will never come back because there are so many other products to sell and make money.
Okay, very good. So actually, you mentioned again this dynamic pricing and pricing according to the situation. I wanted to ask, do anyhow holidays or different seasons also influence the way how sellers should price their products?
That's a great point. That's the seasonality angle for us. Now, like the Prime Days, the holiday season, Q4, there are all these special times. What we think is, instead of like focusing on the special time, already the demand is telling us like what is going to happen with that product. Because, for example, very interesting, but we have seen different seasonality demands for different type of products. For example, like there is a supplement which helps with the diet, and the January is the best time to sell that, like rather than the Q4. Why? Because everybody like has this a New Year resolution. One of the things is, okay, let's get some supplements and start sports, fitness, go for a diet. That's the kind of the best time. So what we do is like, we always look at the data rather than the guesstimate. Like, we don't like try to guess, oh, that will be great for this Christmas. Well, based on the last Christmas, it's already clear what may happen. So we have that data for maybe the brand's product, if it was available last year, if not from the same category, similar products. And that will also help to define the seasonality element. And for a lot of products, it makes sense to change the prices depending on the seasonality. And Eva is doing that automatically by checking the demand curves and the trend.
Okay, sounds really interesting and very useful as well. So, Hai, do you have any other tips to share with our viewers about dynamic pricing or buy box or hijackers?
There are actually two more things which can be very interesting to share, and I'm sure that the brand owners will love it. The first one is, for many brands, there is also a very similar product available. It is because either maybe, it's the same factory that it's manufactured. Maybe it's a very similar product, and the brand owner knows that competitor price is important because they are actually somewhat like sharing the demand. Now, what they can do on Eva is like, they can select the competitor product, which is not the same ASIN, but it's a similar ASIN. Either they can monitor the price, like what's going on with the competitor, or they can also configure EVA, for example, to be always 2% cheaper than that product, or maybe 10% higher than that product. The other thing that we have seen is like, if this pricing is combined with the product targeted advertising, meaning that if you target that product and if you are a little bit cheaper all the time, then the effect of advertising will be doubled or tripled. Because if you are more expensive, if you have less ratings, why should the people, click to your product? So that's one thing. I think that will be very interesting, like to do that similar product pricing. The second thing that can be also nice feature is what we call the scheduled pricing. And the scheduled pricing means, for example, in the beginning for a product, the brand owner wants to test a higher margin. It can also be a lower margin test. But for example, first month, it's okay to make maybe 50% more, 50% margin. But the second month, the minimum margin requirement goes down to 40% or 30%. Let's say it's a seasonal product and it's the beginning of the summer, then the profit level is high, but it's end of the summer, the profit level is low. So with EVA, that type of scheduling can be done easily. For example, reduce the minimum profit by 10% every month, so that after 6 months, let's say the product will be liquidated because the season is over, there is no need to sell it. The other way to look at it is maybe to start from a lower margin and increase the margin gradually as the product launch have happened. There's more reviews, there's more people buying it. So the scheduled pricing is also helping to the brand owners in that way too. So there is a lot of use cases that the dynamic pricing can help. Amazon is using it. The big aggregators, our customers are using it. And we have like hundreds of brands now starting using it, but probably it's still 3 to 4% of the Amazon sellers are doing this. I think there is a great advantage to utilize dynamic pricing and get 20-30% better profits.
Yeah, and who wouldn't like to make more money? Okay, hi. I thank you very much for this presentation and this discussion. So if any of our viewers has any questions about EVA or dynamic pricing, then what's the best way to reach out to you? And could you once more give an overview of how EVA helps Amazon sellers?
Oh, thank you very much for that again. So I'm the CEO of EVA. I mean, anybody can reach EVA from eva.guru, the webpage. We have 24/7 support. EVA is headquartered right now in San Diego, but we have a lot of European customers and we provide the 24/7 support as well. And EVA is helping the Amazon sellers to maximize their profits by dynamic pricing, reimbursements, and replenishment forecasting.
Okay, very good. So thanks again and good luck in your business.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
You can use EVA not only for product repricing, but also for Amazon FBA reimbursements. Find the link below and a special $750 offer from them in the description. And now I would like to recommend you to watch other video about EVA, where you can see all the features like reimbursements, restocking, and sales analytics. So all in one place. Check this demo out.